Hello everyone, my name is Lal of Poemi and welcome to another episode of Say What You Know. And on today's episode, I have three entrepreneurs with me and they're here to tell me their stories, their journey on how they have become successful people in this industry. By right, I have Fola, who is an interior designer, and I would like her to speak first and tell us how it is to be an interior designer in not just an interior designer, she's also a carpenter, guys. And I would like her to speak first on how it is to be a female carpenter in Lagos, Nigeria. Hi, Fola.
Hi. Hi, guys.
What inspired you to want to be a carpenter?
I was broke. I was broke and I started with real estate. That was what I started with. I was broke and I didn't want to sell. I used to sell clothes. I used to sell male clothes and I used to hop from where I knew where my customers, their offices and their joints. I used to take clothes round and I was tired. It was exhausting. So I sat and I thought about it, and there was someone I used to see on my Snapchat. She used to go around and post houses for rent, for sale. And I'm like, I can do this. So I get up one morning and I start moving from whatever house I see that they put for sale or to let us to take a picture, take their details, and then call and ask. And then I was doing that till I started selling houses, and I just wanted more. I'd always had like a passion for arranging things, but it wasn't like so much. So I sat one time and I have a friend. We talked about it and we were like we were going to go into interior designing. So I went to interior school and then I came out, and when I came out I found out that I had more passion for building stuff, for fixing stuff, more than interior design in general.
Yeah.
I like to make stuff out of wood. I just like to make furnitures, you know. I just like to, make furnitures, and I started with it. Then I had just one carpenter. So I was just starting, yeah. And my first client just came to me like I didn't believe it. It wasn't even in Nigeria. So I was really anxious, and it was just me and this my carpenter, and maybe I had one electrician or something. And then I'm like,
Stopped doing these. You stopped selling clothes.
yeah, I did already. After
okay.
I already started real estate. I stopped selling clothes after I started real estate.
Okay.
Yeah, so from real estate to interior design.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just paused on real estate for a bit while I went to school, and I started. So when I got my first client, it was just me and my first carpenter, and
Yeah.
I knew that I had to put in everything I had to it because my client trusted me from nowhere, and that was how I started. I would sit with my carpenter, we would cut the wood together, we'll join it together, we'll build the stuff together, we'll go to the site, we'll install it together, And then with time, even when I had more workers and staff, it would just be that I would want to get it done very fast instead of waiting for someone to come, or maybe there's like no extra hand or something. I just get to it. Like it's never really hard for me. And
So you learned the carpenter work on
yeah,
the job.
yes, exactly, on the job,
Fair enough.
on the job, not like I learned before.
enough.
Yeah,
I mean, for that, I feel like I have like 100 things to talk to you about.
Yeah.
But before we like dive in, hello, my viewers. I also have the tech guys with me. I mean, I focused on Fola first because I'm also a business entrepreneur and I can relate more to Fola than our tech bros. So, so yeah, here with me on my left, I would like him to introduce himself. And yes, please introduce yourself to my viewers.
Okay.
Don't break out.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Dimeji. I'm one of the co-founders of HELIUM Health. And basically, we're a healthcare technology company based in Africa and the Middle East. And we provide software to hospitals around the different markets that we serve.
Wow. Oh, cool. For that end, please, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Richmond Bassi. I am the co-founder and CEO of Bamboo. Bamboo allows Nigerians, Ghanaians, South Africans to buy US stocks
Yeah.
and fixed deposits. We call it fixed returns. So basically, it allows you to invest your money, and we help you, with educational materials and also the platform to do it.
So yeah, today we have the fintech CEO, and we also have the healthcare co-founder. And I mean, I'm gonna ask you guys, start with Richmond. What what made you want to jump into the whole fintech space?
I started because it was just the opportunity. Fintech was an opportunity that came up, but more specifically, I knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur in tech specifically. I think when I was in my third year, I knew I was not going to work as a mechanical engineer. So I was reading every tech news that you could find on the internet, every tech blog or YouTube page that talked about what's happening with tech at the time. And then I started interning at a tech company in London. So yeah, I guess from doing that to moving back to Lagos to working in VC here to working in a startup and then also just founding Bamboo was just sort of like what the journey was.
Dime, do you want to tell us your own? What made you want to start
All right.
with Helium Health?
I mean, I would say mine is because I studied law at uni, right? Studied law, did my master's in law, did law school. So I'd always been on the law path. But at the same time, while I was still doing that, I always had the interest in tech, right? There was just always following tech news and always fascinating. So at the time, I think in my final year of uni, like my co-founder had reached out to me about working on a messaging application together. So we did that for a few months, and then we sold it to one of our customers. So that was an initial foray into tech, and it seemed interesting. It was like, oh, this is solving problems and this is exciting, but at the same time I was still you know into the law space then. And then so I'd moved back to Nigeria, and we then started thinking of what we can do in tech and then healthcare, because a lot of what we were trying to solve was actual problems that we could use technology to solve, and healthcare was top of mind at the time. And just looking into the healthcare space and trying to figure out what to solve there, then presented the problem. We were thinking, okay, what are the issues in healthcare? And then we found out that, there was a lot of fragmentation of data. People didn't really know what was going on in healthcare. So we decided to solve that healthcare problem and that data problem in the healthcare space. But to do that, we had to build a software for the hospitals, and that was how we got into creating Helium Health. And at the time, I was still, when we started, I was still practicing a law firm then, but I had to, make it was a very difficult decision at the time because I didn't know how things were going to go. So it was either I focused fully on law or focused fully on what was just a new company at the time, so I had to make the choice. I think what I used to console myself then, or, was, okay, you know what, I'm in my early 20s, right? If things don't go well, I can always come back to law, So yeah, and yeah, I decided to take the leap.
I mean, sorry, so I was gonna ask, right, that because I've had like young people ask me, okay, I'm doing 9 to 5. I want to quit my job to start something new, but I don't know. I don't feel it. I don't know. Did you guys see anything that made you believe, I'm going to stop doing this X and jump here? Because I feel like people, I mean, like I said, someone has asked me before, and person says, oh, where I want to change my job. I haven't felt something yet. And I'm like, is there a feeling you feel before you decide to like jump into these new things you people have done? Or what made you guys want to? How did you know that jumping was the right decision? I know Dimeji said like him at his 20s was like his answer.
Look, I mean, it wasn't even just about being in my early 20s. I mean, that helped. I mean, I feel like if I was doing it now, there'll be a lot more, pushback, but also like support from, family and friends also goes a very long way. But at the end of the day, it's about risk taking and making calculated risks, right? And believing really in what you're doing, right? And if it's something that you're really passionate about, and you believe that, okay, if I give this my full focus, then I'll make it. I would succeed in it. So it's about just you know, nobody knows. You never really know, right? But it's just about taking the risk, because at the end of the day, high risk, high reward, right? And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. At least you tried. But it's about actually just initially trying, go for it, and yeah, you just never know. So yeah, I would say taking a very calculated risk is what led me to do that.
I think things always look better in hindsight, right? And so sometimes it's quite challenging having foresight. It's like now I'm looking forward or looking ahead. How do I know that something would work out? And for me, it's just always been following my curiosity. Right? I'm curious enough to want to acquire knowledge or want to learn about something, and I'm crazy enough to follow
Yeah.
follow my curiosity. And I think if and many times when we get educated out of being curious individuals or curious people as as humans. And I feel like remaining curious about your world and the things that interest you around you, because you're like a child, you grow up in the world, things you start receiving information left, right, and center,
Yeah.
and your curiosity allows you to unpack, knowledge and stuff like that. So in making those types of decisions, it's just what are you curious about? I don't think there's necessarily an overwhelming.
So does fear have anything to play in this? Like,
Sorry?
does fear have anything to play in this?
I think fear is a constant, right? You would always feel fear, especially when you're doing something maybe for the first time, or you're doing something you've never done before, or you're doing something that that maybe data shows that people have failed in this path, or there are many reasons why, but I guess
I mean, just like me doing this podcast, I fuck up a lot of times. But yeah, we did.
or you never let your fear. Yeah, I think the strength of curiosity, or the obsession of curiosity, or being really genuinely curious about something, sometimes will be even more powerful than the feelings of fear. But you will always feel afraid about decision making.
I mean, so I was gonna say, and the reason why I brought like two different like type of entrepreneurs is because I'm a business owner. I run a catering service called Tiamo Catering. I'm a cook, and for me, like when I started, there was no pitch deck. I mean, people said create business plan, but did you create business plan?
Nope.
Okay,
I did
cool.
not.
I mean, I created business plan. I wanted to collect 1 or 2 naira from some people. They say create business plan, and I mean I did, and I don't know if it's bad not to follow that business plan that we created, because when I got into the business, there was a lot of gbas, and I know for you guys, I don't know if you guys are allowed to do gbas, or even say you're allowed to do gbas.
So what I would say is, you can create a business plan, but at the end of the day, I think the business plan is not about saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do and this will definitely happen, right? I think what a business plan helps with is thinking through the idea you have, like putting it down on paper, how you want to execute, following through and actually properly planning, right? So if you look back and say, okay, if I look back and say, oh, I created a business plan 5 years ago, and in 5 years I said this was going to happen, I'll be 1,000,000% wrong. Anybody that creates a business plan now, your predictions or your projections are 9 times out of 10 going to be inaccurate when you look back at the time that you're projecting towards, right? But I think mostly it's just about helping you plan and helping you think through how you want to run your business. So the different costs you have, the different cost considerations, people you have to hire, different challenges that you face, regulation here. It's more about, so the business plan is more about, helping you like chart a plan, and then hoping that, and when people ask for a business plan, it's not necessarily about, I believe that this is where you're going to be at this time. It's about, okay, I see where you want to be at this point in time and how you plan to achieve that. it might not go as planned, but then you know that you have a plan, and it's as long as it makes sense. Then people see that, okay, you're thinking about it the right way. So it's just much about thinking about your business the right way than anything else.
Faith as well. I believe that whatever you want to do, you have to have faith to push it, because I think that's what helped me a lot. I had faith. I think the Bible says if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. I'm not really sure.
Sure. Sure.
I'm a Jesus baby, but faith really helped me, because I remember then I actually wrote the price I needed for interior school. It was like 250K, and I had it in my Bible. I still have it till now. Like, I was so broke, I didn't have any money. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't even know if it was going to work. I didn't know. I had no idea. I just went into it, and then I had a lot of faith to push it. And it works out.
I also would say there are many things online or sort of like heuristics to follow that allow you arrive at a good way to think about your business. It's like the lean model canvas, for example, is a good way to think about starting a business. I think business plans could, like Dimeji said, like help you have a plan.
Yeah.
But I think it's Muhammad Ali that says everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. Right?
Yeah.
So, and like you said, basketballs.
Yeah.
But again, back to the point around curiosity and learning, right? When you start a business, there's just so much you don't know, and you don't even know what you don't know. So, what allows you move in the right direction is your curiosity and your learning, the ability to, learn, to go about a certain direction, and fail and learn if you have to pivot away from it. It's just treating everything like a hypothesis and trying to confirm or disconfirm the hypothesis. And if you confirm it, you can double down on what they call in tech scale up, right? But if you can't confirm the hypothesis, then it means that that you should try another question, ask another question, or figure out, go in a different direction. So a business plan is good. I would advise people to look at the lean model canvas that can help you, think about your business correctly from the different components that matter. But also just remain a learner. Like, I always say I'm a learner learning work. Like
Every time.
there's so much you don't know,
don't know.
about what you're trying to do, because it's a question. You want to solve a problem, but you don't know all the answers. And having a framework for learning and being a learning machine yourself would allow you move in a direction or answer all the questions that allows you really make this thing or this idea into a business.
Yeah. I'm speaking about learning. I mean, what is something, I'm starting with like, what is something in your business that has scared you? Like, what has scared you? What's something that scared you, like during like business time, either like scaling up or late delivery, or what's something that has scared you?
Everything is scary about my work. Everything. From the clients, from immediately the clients, my clients,
Is
not
there a
my
difference
clients.
from the first time and now? Or still the same?
It's basically worse now because I have more clients now. I mean, when clients give you their money, they own your life. They want to, I need you to do this. You've not done that. You've not, it's with the clients, with my staff. I mean, right now I have probably like 20 staffs. And imagine working with 20 staffs and working with the clients and then working with my suppliers of materials as well. Everything is scary. I'm scared that my supplier is not going to supply what I asked him to because he made a mistake. I'm scared that my client is going to call me at 2 a.m. and scream at me for something really little that maybe he didn't understand, or just because I didn't do something when I was supposed to. I'm scared that my staff will call me and say, Madam, I'm sick today, I can't come to work, and I'm short-staffed, and everything is scary. Everything is scary. But the fact that I have done this before, I've done it over and over and over again, and when it comes to life, I'm happy about it. So I feel like it's worth it at the end. Like all the stress and the fears and everything, I guess it's worth it.
Which one do you have fears?
Of course, I do feel afraid. Especially if you're going after pretty incredible or bold things or bold goals, you will feel afraid. It's natural to.
But what's something in your business like? Is it like raising funding? What has scared you when the money even got to your company? You're like, oh, more. How we
I
do
think
this?
everything can be scary. Everything is scary, especially when you're at different stages of building a business. There are just so many unknowns. So you have to figure out how to think about unknowns or how to think about areas of the business that make you afraid, right? And for me, when I feel fear about something, the way I approach it is it means that there's maybe knowledge missing or there's something that's making me afraid. There's a reason for my fear. I try to want to understand why do I feel afraid. Is it that I don't understand something here and then I attack my fear like more like trying to question it like in the direction of my fear rather than run away from it. And that really helps me, face the devil in the eye, so to speak. And yeah, I guess that's. I mean, things make you fear. You don't chicken out or run away. You face your fears.
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Yeah. So same. I would say, of course, you have fears every day. You wake up and you're like, okay, I need to, deal with this. And I think for me, the more you expand, the more you grow. I don't want to say the bigger the fears are, but it doesn't. I don't think it stops because especially as
Never
you hire,
stops.
especially as you hire more people, right? So you have like all these people working in your company, right? And at the end of the day, you're responsible for them, right? And all these people have families, right? So it's like that sort of pushes you not to what's the word? Once they fall their hand, right? Because it's like, okay, all these guys have, literally put your life in your hands, right? And they believed in your vision, right? They believe that, okay, this company is doing this, solving this problem, and then of course, as you succeed, they succeed as well, and they grow, and of course, it helps, their families as well. So at the end of the day, you don't want to disappoint them and wake up the next day and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys."
It's a wrap.
Yeah. So at the end of it, so there's that fear that pushes you to want to do more because you have a lot of people that you're responsible for at the end of the day.
I mean, so what's also like the best part about having your own business, Laura?
Having my own business. Having my own business because I call the shots. Like if I was working for someone, there's times where I'm mentally down, and entrepreneurship is really wild. It drives you crazy, and there's times where
Tell
I'm
me about
mentally
it.
down and I don't want to do. I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to pick. I don't want to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I can do that because it's my business. But if I was working for someone, I wouldn't be able to explain to my boss that, oh, I'm sorry, my brain is going crazy and I might need like a couple of days. Nigerians don't even know what that, when you say like you're mentally, your boss will just be like, what are you saying?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to like measure pressure or pain, but do you think 9 to 5 and people that like own their business have like the same amount of like headache? Because I'm sure like people that do 9 to 5 are like, oh, my work is stressful. My work is. Do you think? I'm not trying to measure pain, but do you think like, okay, yes, that pain is valid, and the same time, you think your own is worse? Rich one.
How does it call my name? No. I think it's this. Well, it really depends, right? Everybody feels stressed. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a 9 to 5, right? It's work is hard sometimes and stressful. So I don't know who feels more pain, but I think everybody, if you contextualize it to everybody's experience.
But even with entrepreneurs, you know that right now with my business, my client is my boss, right? Do you know? I still have pressure from my boss,
Yeah.
and then I put pressure on my staff as well. It's the same thing with the
It's the
nine to
same
five
thing, yeah.
guys. Their boss is like, you gotta do what you have to do, and then I think I don't know. It's basically the same
I
thing.
think any attempt at problem solving is painful.
Yeah, it is.
If you're really going to solve a real problem that affects people positively, and maybe it's a business where they exchange money for you solving that problem.
Services or
It's a
something.
painful process, and
It always is.
Yeah, I think it's just perspective, right? Everyone has their perspective. It's just like well, people say you're the main character in your own story, right?
Yeah.
So you have a 9 to 5 person. When they tell you that daily experiences, you can feel the pain, right? A business owner will tell you that you can feel the pain. So I think it's just different perspectives, but just that
I do
one
think the
person is 9 to
difference though
5.
can be sometimes that as an entrepreneur, it's almost like you don't shut out. It's like you keep going. Like if you work at 9 to 5,
24 hours.
especially
Yeah.
like
Monday to
it's
Sunday.
a job that you
Yeah.
don't like and you're not really connected to. 5 o'clock, you are done.
done.
It's like nobody should
And
call
then
my
the
phone.
weekend, it's
No,
no work for the
But like
weekend.
as an entrepreneur,
You're working on Sundays.
Don't.
I mean,
Don't
I don't
worry.
know if
from
Ola
what
can relate,
and
but
with
do you have?
what?
I mean, when it's like end of the month, do you have like your workers say, "Madam, you don't reach you."
You don't-
The
That's what
end
I'm
of the
telling
month,
you.
yeah.
There are times when my staffs are like, "No, madam, it's okay now, it's enough," and I'm like, "No."
So
it's
you
not
have
enough.
to put in place ways to shut off, right? Because your mind just keeps going.
And do you know
on-
that's one thing entrepreneurs need to do? We keep going. We do not know when. We should have a time where we say,
Mind.
do you know, like, I'm not going to work for this. This is something I'm really battling
But
with.
it's easy
right
to
now.
say, oh, but-
Do you understand? Like, just say that I'm not going to work. I mean, people that work 9 to 5, they take leaves. You have leaves for maybe 2 weeks, or I don't know how it works, but I mean, we entrepreneurs should say, for this
So
month.
you've not taken a
I'm not-
leave. Where was
My
your last
dear,
leave?
I don't think you call it leave. I think it's just like maybe just you go for the business thing, then you enjoy it.
I'm telling you.
You turn work trips to holidays.
Exactly. It's just never any time to really rest, because when they say come and take money, you're like, I'm going.
Yeah. Also, I think another perspective is if a business owner at the end of the month, especially when you're in a time where you're struggling, right? End of the month is like a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, because you have to pay salaries,
Do you
right?
understand? That's
but
why
then,
you keep
But then the
going.
9 to 5 person, end of the month is like, yes, time to get money.
to get money.
You know, so it's like. But at the end of the day, as a business owner, paying your staff is number one priority,
Yeah.
right? But if things are difficult at the time, right, it becomes a challenge as well, because you need to find the money. If there is no money, you need to find a way to pay your staff. Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool. Give it to Fesso because but yeah, I mean, so I mean, look, Fola, you being like you being a carpenter, stroke interior designer, and I mean, like, how did you like? Because it's just like for me, right? I run a catering service, and I know like I serve companies the most, and I know how it is when I walk into a company and I'm like, oh, I want to like provide lunch service for your staff. So I know how they look at me as,
Yeah.
who's this guy?
Guy, yeah.
And if I even had beers, they'd be like, okay, someone's an old guy, but with no beers, like, who's this? I'm okay, that kind of thing. So I mean, do you get that?
Yes, I
too?
do.
Who's this fine
Especially
girl?
with my tattoos and everything.
Please, how many tats
When
do
I-
you have, please,
About 40.
on your body?
People look at
beautiful.
me and they're like, thank you. People look at me and I'm like, when I come and when I go for consultations and I'm taking my tape and I'm measuring everything, I'm bending down, standing. It's like, why are you doing that? Are you the one that's gonna? Yes, I am the one that's gonna do it. And they're like, nah, you can't.
Yeah.
That's what everybody thinks until
Yeah.
they actually see me do it.
Yeah.
Like, I've had some of my clients tell me, you are doing too much. It's okay. Oga is supposed to be doing like Oga. But no, I'll always get down. Like,
It's your shit. You
it's
have
my,
to like
I have
all,
to.
all the way.
I
all the
have
way,
to.
all
It's
the
my
way.
business.
Same thing, my own food to do. Say, you're bringing
Yeah,
food.
boy.
You now they now eat the food. Food is now sweet. So now say
Oh, it's
the
nice.
food is sweet. Then I say, you know how to cook.
Chef,
So yeah,
chef.
I get that. I mean, but so this is another thing, right? I know on this journey of being an entrepreneur can be, I mean, which is crazy. It's crazy, and it can also be lonely, right? Because first of all, you're trying to create something that now only you believe in it straight, and nobody, and when you're trying to speak to people, they're like, okay, cool, can we go and party? And I mean, like, have you guys, like, I won't say lost friends, but have like your friendship list reduced? And is it something you're bothered about? Richmond, go first.
Why do you always call me first? No, I do think that naturally, you will have less and less time to hang out with friends sometimes when you're so busy with work. There are many times I've had to rain check a lot of hangouts because of work. But also, for me specifically, I have the privilege of building businesses with my friends. So a lot of times, life and play and work is almost intertwined because my businesses that I am involved in are a lot of friends that are involved in it as well. So that's a blessing, but maybe not everyone has it like that, right? And some people genuinely don't enjoy people that they work with, and that's another thing. So it's also enjoying people you work with, making sure that you have the right environment, or you create the right environment in your company for people to be themselves and bring their full selves to work, and then they can form friendships at work. And yeah, the journey of an entrepreneur is lonely. Can be fucking lonely. Pardon my French. But that's what it is. It's just what it is. I don't know if there's a solution to that. Yeah. There are many mental health issues that founders deal with, like imposter syndrome, loneliness, stress, anxiety. There's a lot of it.
Have you lost friends?
No, I would say lost friends. No. I don't think. I mean, I would say probably the worst that would happen is maybe you don't reach out like often enough. But at the end of the day, when you do reach out, you catch up with your friends. So it's like I won't say, oh, I've lost friends because of business, right? But it's just catching up as often as the opportunity allows. Really, yeah.
I mean, so I'm even going to say, based on this, like, I don't know if you say entitlement, but like, so how you guys have like, your companies have like raised, and from the outsiders just here, X company raised $10 million, $100 million, $40 million, and that mind is, my friend owns that company, and I know that he has $100 million. I mean, how do you feel when your friends come to you and say, Baba, you just chop $100 million? Do you want to drop XYZ in my company, or do you want to invest in me? Like, how do you guys deal with that? And how do you get to explain to people that, this money is not my money, it's the company's money, and I like you, but I don't have access to this thing? And have you been in that situation before?
It's amazing. Have I been in a situation where someone thinks that money we've raised is...
I think also even thinking about this is like, but me personally, I'm sure the same applies to you, right? We typically don't have those kind of conversations because, I mean, people that we surround ourselves. I mean, our friends tend to understand how this thing works, right? So if you're saying a friend saying that, I believe they already understand what the situation is, right? So I don't think that ever becomes a conversation from a friend.
No. Have you had your friends beg you for Kwada? Okay, now because for that when don't let me talk about what is when.
Just stop.
But yeah. But yeah, have you had friends say,
like, in the sense of entitlement?
Yeah, that I knew you when you were in secondary school, and now you're driving Benz.
Yeah, I've had like friends actually just block because I don't have power. Because even the friends I have right now, I've not finished keeping up with them. So like I don't have power for anybody. So I've had like people come from like when I was living in Ikorodu. I just see, and I've been using like the same one of my business numbers. I've been using it for like maybe like I think like 10 years now. So like I have people from Ikorodu calling me. Or maybe because my number is on my business page, they're calling me and saying, "Oh, it's me from Is You Who? Is You Who? Are you joking? Is You Who? Do you know what I've been through? Are you joking?" No, so it's like, nah. My friends, the friends I have normally, they're never in that position to say, give me money, you've made money or something like. Nah, I barely have friends actually, so it works for me. I don't have nobody stopping me.
Oh, man, my chef will give a shout.
Yeah.
I'm blind. So, as a chef and as a person that owns a catering service called Tiamo Catering, for every episode I'm having, all my guests have to eat Tiamo's special meal. And you guys all have to tell me what you think. I don't expect you guys to lie. Tell me, tell exactly. So,
Richmond.
I would like my chef John to please come forward and like serve our guests, please.
Thank you.
Wait, you don't finish your food. Can you tell me what you think first? Don't.
Okay.
You
Ready?
guys.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad.
I said corporate service.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I mean, there's always. I'm joking. No, first of all, I like the presentation. Like
That's nice.
yeah, it makes you want to eat the food, right? So that goes a really long way, and yeah, and it tastes good as well. I'm impressed.
I like the chicken. The stew and the chicken is very nice.
And salad.
I haven't eaten the salad yet.
What do you think?
I'm still eating. It's nice, you know. Yeah. I eat your food every
Very
time.
delicious,
I love it.
actually.
It's nice.
Thank you guys. Anyhow, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast, and this is one of my.
Oh my
You know,
god.
I know the viewers. I don't know. It's too much time, and I don't know how. I'm still trying to figure out how many.
They have to
people-
invite us
people.
back again.
Of course, and inshallah, one of these people will sponsor this podcast. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys coming on this podcast.
You're
Thank you very much, and I hope you guys learned or listened or heard one thing that would help you in one way or the other. And if you're a young person out there that's just trying to start something, no pressure, things will fall in place. Just keep going, keep moving. I believe everybody here has put in the work, and nobody just had it given to them. So I'm sure you can do it on your own. Don't look at anybody. Everybody's richer than everybody in their own way. Do you understand? Just do your thing, appreciate yourself, love yourself. And yeah, thank you very much, everybody, once again. And yeah, I don't know why Richmond is laughing. I don't know why Dimitri is looking like. I'm gonna put it there like that.
It's so annoying.
So yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching. Good look podcast.
That's a good place to end it. Just cut it there.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Say what you know, guys. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.